Jesus Vision. St. John the Philosopher here. This is the last video in a series where I look at 3 worldview categories as part of an extended explanation of how I came to see the world as I do. The previous videos, linked in the description below, explore New Age spirituality and atheism. This time we're looking at theism, the Christian variety to be specific, since it's the worldview I hold, which is kind of the point of this whole exercise. In today's America, where traditional Christian beliefs are attacked daily from all corners, I'm sure I'm going to catch a lot of flack from this, but I'm more than ready.
So it begins.
As discussed in previous videos, we evaluate worldviews by looking at how they answer the 4 big questions. Where did I come from? Why am I here? How should I live? And where am I going when I die? Forming the essential elements of origin, meaning, morality, and destiny. And in doing so, we check their coherence, how well the elements fit together, and correspondence, how solidly the elements fit into observable reality. With this 3rd video, it's finally time to scrutinize Christianity. Where did I come from? The central figure in Christian theism is obviously God.
I'm the one.
No, not...
Yeah, godlike. And what to you would be godlike?
No.
Ooh, I like that. Ha, shocker. God gets it right.
Oh, okay, stop. The concept actually hews very close to Aristotle's unmoved mover, posited in the late 300s BC and further elaborated on by St. Thomas Aquinas about 1500 years later. It goes a little like this. Since everything that has a beginning must have a cause, there must be something that exists outside of the causal loop that started it. In the case of a universe consisting of time, space, and matter, which science tells us had a definite beginning, there must be something outside the confines of time, space, and matter that got the ball rolling.
The universe allows creation of something from nothing, provided you have the laws of nature, the quantum fluctuation. So now we have a set of forces, we call them the laws of nature, that are not physical, that are able to act on the physical. They create the physical from absolute nothing. And they predate the universe, which means they predate our understanding of time. Put that together, and it sounds very familiar. If you haven't noticed it, that's the biblical definition of God.
The God of the Bible being the eternally existent, immaterial, all-powerful, all-knowing, pure, and loving entity who willed our perceived reality and us into existence fits the bill of the unmoved mover. Why am I here? It's meaningful that the Bible also makes a clear distinction between humanity and the rest of creation, one that we can easily perceive ourselves in real life. It's not just that our intellect has led us to be the dominant species on the planet, it's just the fact that there is a world of difference between a person and any other animal on the face of the earth. Most of the time. Humans are not driven exclusively by animal instinct. Sure, we respond to the electrochemical reactions in our bodies that tell us we need food or water. We have a biological desire to procreate, or at least participate in the fun part of the process. But more than those types of things, we have ideas. We are moral beings with free will. We make value judgments beyond just what's right for me or even what's right for my tribe or society. We want to do right, period. We're not satisfied with simply existing as transports for DNA. Our hearts yearn for eternity. Christian theology calls this intuitively obvious distinction the imago Dei, the image of God. This idea also happens to lend itself to the existence of the Bible in the first place. Sure, we can be like Aristotle and derive the existence of God through our observation of nature, which Christians call general revelation. But if we are a special type of creation, crafted by God with an innate desire to connect with Him, it only makes sense that He would have to communicate with us more directly for us to draw closer to true knowledge of Him. Limited as we are, it would be impossible to know anything about a supreme being that exists outside of our ability to perceive without Him telling us in such a way that we could actually understand it. Thus, what Christian theologians refer to as the special revelation of Scripture. And that's where the Christian worldview gets the rest of the story. In any case, the overall philosophical implication of God's willful act of creation and the deliberate differentiation of the human soul is that there is a reason for all of it, purpose and meaning to each and every person's existence. The Bible encapsulates this in one word: love. The meaning of life, our purpose in existence, according to Scripture, is to love God and love one another. How should I live? Ironically, the word that exemplifies the goal towards which our lives should be oriented, love, is among the most abused, misused, and misunderstood. As such, most of Scripture either directly or indirectly addresses what love really is and how to do it. Christian love is desiring the highest good for another and acting in the best way to bring it about. The key, of course, is knowing what the highest good actually is and what that best way looks like. It only makes sense that such knowledge would come from the all-knowing Creator. That knowledge forms the basis for all ethical behavior within the Christian worldview. While other worldviews, particularly the ones that we've looked at so far, allow for personal, situational ethics that can morph and change based on your feelings or whatever, biblical morality is always the same because it rests on a being who is unchanging. And each moral dictate is logically derived from the position of our purpose. So when we examine the ethical standards almost universally accepted by almost all people groups across all of human history, they can all find solid philosophical footing in the Christian worldview. Where am I going when I die? Christian theology, like most theistic religious traditions, holds that humans have both material and immaterial aspects to their being that are unique to every individual, and that upon the death of the material, the immaterial portion goes on to face judgment by the Creator. Now, here is where Christianity really stands out. In every other religion, the God figure asks, "Do your good deeds outweigh your bad?" Christianity takes the view that no one will ever win that game.
Strange game. The only winning move is not to play.
Instead, the God of the Christian Bible asks, "What have you done with Jesus?" If the person has earnestly sought to have a loving relationship with Christ, their afterlife is a conscious eternity with Him. If the person has rejected Jesus, they pass into an eternity without Him. Now, since the triune Godhead of the Christian worldview is the one source of all that is good in existence, it makes sense that those two distinct fates would be called heaven and hell. Obviously, there's no direct way to compare this or any other worldview in regards to destiny, but among those I've studied, the Christian doctrine is the only one to make sense of the morality question. Because without eternal justice, the temporal worldly justice that morally judges behaviors like deceit, theft, and murder is ultimately meaningless. And without a clear demarcation of what does and does not justify someone, a final judgment cannot be fair. Christianity is often maligned for its claim to exclusivity, but its exclusivity is what makes it actually intelligible. Over the years, I've read and spoken with people with worldviews that span the entire spectrum of thought, and even some that hold strange mixes of diametrically opposed beliefs. And when confronted with the big questions, none of those worldviews has been able to stand up to that scrutiny. They fail at both internal consistency and experiential relevance. All of them, that is, except Christianity. The more I dig into it, the more I learn about it, the more consistent and relevant it shows itself to be, and the more clear the world becomes, as though I were honing a superpower. Jesus vision or something. To quote C.S. Lewis, I believe in Christianity as I believe the sun has risen, not only because I see it, but because by it I see everything else. Tell me what you think of this video. What do you think about my analysis of Christianity? What is your worldview based on? Discuss in the comments. In the meantime, be sure to like, subscribe, and share for more videos on religion, culture, and politics. That's all for today. This is St. John the Philosopher. Goodbye, God bless, and I'll see you in another video.